Welcome back to another episode of the Ears to the Parks podcast. I'm Gary, and today we're going to be counting down our top three, even though there is only five, of our top three value resorts at Walt Disney World. And obviously, if it had just been me counting down my top three, it'd be a little bit boring. So I do have a few guests here with me today. We have Anna, Jenny, and Alexa. Hi, guys.
Hiya.
How is everyone doing?
Great.
Fantastic.
Doing good.
Good. I've got you up. We've got you up on a weekend. I was gonna say morning, but it's afternoon now. But got you in on a weekend to do this, so thank you for that. But yeah, as I was saying, we're going to be talking about the value resorts today, and there's going to be quite a lot of overlap. I'm not going to lie, because there is only 5 value resorts, but we're going to give our opinions on pros and cons of them as we go through it and see where we match up as well, which will be interesting because I know a lot of people prefer certain places over others. So let's just get into it and see where we all stand. Okay, who would like to take the baton and start us off?
We're all too awkward.
I went first yesterday, so I can't go first again today. Okay, I'll go first then. Okay, so even though I've never actually stayed at a value, I was kind of looking at them. I definitely think if I had to stay at any of them, it would be Art of Animation.
Okay, well,
I just kind of feel like
you're doing it in the again, aren't you, Anna?
Oh, the wrong way around. Because I get too excited about the favourite one. Okay, I can start again. God damn it. Okay, the number 3, I think would probably be All Star Sports for me. Oh, actually, no, that would be 5. That's how. Okay, there's 5 resorts. We're doing top 3. So this is where it's confusing my mind. Okay, let me do a quick calculation.
I mean, if you wanted to quickly run through all 5, you're more than welcome.
No.
And put them in order. Well, not quickly, because we're going to do one at a time once we get to number 3. So.
Okay, I think number 3 would be Pop.
Ooh, okay.
I think only because the other 2, I think the theming would be better.
Mm-hmm.
So I think out of all 5, Pop's theming wouldn't be as exciting, I think.
Okay. Now, I have stayed at Pop. Pop Century was actually the first Disney resort that I stayed at. And I was going to say it is aging a little bit now, but it's got years from 60s, 70s, 80s, and 90s, so it's aged anyway. But it is good. Yeah, I see where you're coming from with that.
But you have got the Skyliner there now.
That is very true.
Which I think would be a lot of like positives towards if people do want to stay at a value, staying one that's got the Skyliner adjoined just makes it so much easier. Because like the little bits I was saying, like looking at like the buses, when it gets busy, they do like both Art of Animation and Pop. So depending on where you are, you may or may not get on a bus, which would be so irritating. So just have the Skyline there. It's like I've been on the Skyliner from Caribbean Beach, and it's so easy and so smooth. Like, I would far rather go on a Skyliner any day than get a bus.
I've not been on the Skyliner as of yet, and I know that we mentioned this previously, but from like Pop Century, because Pop Century, is it joined with Art of Animation?
Yeah.
For the Skyliner? I can imagine it gets really, really busy in the morning and probably in the evening as well. But I'm not sure.
It moves so like quickly. I've got the Skyliner back from Epcot, and the queue from that was like massive. Like after like the fireworks and stuff, and you think, oh my god, I'm going to be here for ages. But because it's literally just constantly moving, it's literally like people in, people in, people in, people in. Like I was in 20 minutes. I think I was in the queue. Where if you were going to wait for a bus with that kind of length of queue, you'd probably be there for hours.
And you're never guaranteed to get on the first bus after fireworks, whereas at least you know the Skyliner is
constantly going around, and you can fit about 6 or 8 people, I think, in them.
Okay, I was just going to ask how many people you could fit in them, but yeah.
I know for a while post-COVID they were only doing like one party per like cable car, but I think they may have changed it now.
Yeah, I think after Epcot is the only time that I got on one where it was really busy. All the other times we got on one, we literally got one to ourselves because it wasn't hugely that busy.
Yeah, and I guess with the Skyliner there as well, it's an easy way to go resort hopping because on along that route you've got Caribbean Beach, Riviera, and then all of the Epcot area resorts as well. So you can easily hop over and see other resorts, which is something that not many people do when they're on holiday, is go resort hopping, and I love to do that.
Potentially one of my favorite days of my last Disney trip was our resort hopping day.
Yeah, I like a little bit of resort hopping.
See, I would never.
It's nice
to go resort hopping because I've never stayed on property or anything. I've always stayed in like off-site hotels, but like
it's
to go resort hopping sounds like so much fun.
It's really relaxing when you've had like a few full-on like park days, and because all the resorts have like their own little snacks or drinks, it's quite nice to like hunt what's like each resort's unique thing.
And it's nice to see all the different resorts and what they offer, knowing that you'll never be able to afford to stay at some of them.
Yeah.
Very true.
You can just like buy the t-shirt and pretend you've stayed there.
Absolutely.
All right, I'm gonna hop on there as well with my number 3, because again there's not too many to go from, but I think my number 3 would be All-Star Movies.
I would say the same.
That's my number 3 too.
Now, no offense to the other All-Stars, because I'm sure they're great, but I'm not a huge sports person, and the music one doesn't really appeal to me as much as movies.
The music one looks very like motel-y.
Yeah,
yeah.
It seems as though a motel outside of Disney is try to theme it Disney style in a way. But yeah, it's the All-Star resorts are pretty much all the same apart from the theming. You've got your basic rooms, basic restaurant food. Just looking at the rooms now, it's going to be the basic things, like each room is going to sleep 4 and have a queen, like 2 beds. I believe it's changed a little bit now. Like the standard rooms are only showing 1 king bed, or 1 queen bed, and 1 queen table bed. Is that right? And then the preferred rooms show a queen bed, a queen size table bed, or a king bed. It sleeps up to 4. I swear they always used to come with 2 of the same.
Just one of you has to sleep on a table.
There's usually like a hidden pull away somewhere.
Yeah.
Yeah, usually under the TV area, there's like one of the fold down beds. But that just threw me off a little bit looking at this now. It says one king bed, or 1 queen bed and 1 queen size table bed.
A queen size table bed would be pretty big as well. But normally they're like singles.
I slept on one at Port Orleans and it was the exact height of me. So,
but again, I've not stayed there in. Well, I've not actually stayed at the All-Star resorts, I don't believe. But so that could just be me thinking of other hotels in the Disney area. But yeah, you've got it's your basic Disney resort. If you're going to start off and you don't want to spend loads of money, but you want to stay on site, it's going to be one of the cheapest options out there to stay at the All-Star resorts. But saying that, when we was looking at trips for later this year, did we see that? Was it the All-Star? One of the All-Stars, I swear, was priced over Coronado.
Possibly. Was that for one of the suites though? Like the family suite that they do?
No, the All-Stars don't do suites.
Oh no, it's Art of Animation that does the suites, isn't it?
Yeah, maybe they was so busy that
I don't know.
they were.
Yeah, because one of the things I was reading that movie on sports tends to get a lot of like cheerleading competitions and like school groups stay at them. So maybe at certain types of year, if there's like a cheerleading competition or something on, that they've popped the price up because they know it's nearby.
I was
Yeah,
gonna say that's what puts the All Stars at the bottom of my list. Like, I'm sure the massive groups have a
Children.
great time. They just
Yeah,
look very overwhelming.
yeah. I would not want to stay at a hotel filled with a bunch of teenage cheerleaders. It
Imagine
sounds like
trying to get on your bus. There's like
oh
5 cheerleading teams already waiting.
my god, no.
yeah. It's not the best when you're in the parks and the cheer groups are taking over. Let's say. Anyway, so never mind in a resort when you're trying to get sleep. And they're waking up. I believe they get up like really out early in the morning to practice
Yeah.
Cheer.
outside.
Yeah.
So you're gonna get waken. I mean, if you're not already awake to go to the parks, you're gonna get woken up like really early.
Yeah, I think possibly like if you had kids and you don't want to spend huge amounts of money, like it's quite nice and close to like Blizzard Beach as well. So if you've got smaller kids and you want to have like a water park day, then I think it's probably one of your better ones to go to. But if you're lucky enough to be able to afford one of the other ones, then yeah, definitely go and
I
stay at
think
one of
this is
the
the
other
thing
ones.
with all the values is the theming is a lot more obvious than some of the other resorts. So if you've got small children, you've got
Yeah,
like massive characters around. You've got like
yeah,
really fun pools. So I
Yeah.
think for young families, they're a really nice choice.
yeah. Like you can then spend the day like in the hotel going around like looking for the like huge characters and stuff, can't you?
Yeah.
I also feel like those huge characters. I don't know about you guys, but for me, it's like brings a lot of nostalgia. Like
Yeah.
even because I haven't stayed there, seeing photos, I'm like, oh my god, that's so cool. I remember when that came out, kind of thing. Not that I'm that old, but yeah, just brings a bit of nostalgia for me.
hmm Yeah, I totally get that. I just brought the menu up for the world premiere food court um, at All Star Movies, and I didn't realize how expensive the refillable mugs are now.
Yeah. I
Yeah,
think they were always included in dining plan before. So like if you were going as a UK guest with dining plan, you didn't have to worry about it. But now they're a lot.
Yeah, they're coming out at $21.99
So
now.
spenny.
Mm.
I feel like you can still make it worth it. It's
Oh
just a
yeah,
big
I feel like it was a lot less the last time I was there. And I mean, they've got your typical foods there for this is for the breakfast menu at least anyway, showing waffle platter, Mickey waffles, bacon, egg and cheese bagel, omelets, and then pancakes with fruit, etc. And they have plant-based options, kids meals, um, just oatmeal or scrambled eggs apparently.
those are the kids'
Oh,
options:
that's the
oatmeal,
kids.
scrambled eggs.
That's the kids Disney check. I apologize. That's kids Disney check, which I'm guessing is the health version.
Oh,
Which that's it. The regular kids are Mickey shaped waffles or pancakes. So
yeah. I would not be impressed as a child if someone just put a bowl of oatmeal in front of me at Disney.
on my Disney trip.
Yeah.
but
Even if
I
someone put a bowl of oatmeal in front of me now, I'd be really annoyed.
but scrolling down this menu, I don't know if this actually runs out into like the shop or something because there's so much stuff. It just keeps going and going. From like the bakery items to cakes to fruit to snacks. They have everything in the snacks from hard boiled eggs,
Oh,
popcorn, apple slices, pickle in the pouch. You guys love that.
no.
But yeah, I mean, it's pretty much going to be the same at the All Star resorts and Value resorts anyway. But just for a quick rundown of what they have to offer there. Who else wants to go?
I think most of us shared the third option, so I have nothing more to add
I have,
to All Star movies.
was that yours as well, Alexa?
yeah, it was my third as well.
That was the third one. Just looking at the carrying on from that, the recreation part of it, they do have a campfire, which I didn't know about. which is
I think
nice.
most resorts have some form of campfire now.
The last time I was there, it was literally only like maybe 3.
Yeah,
did a
every resort
campfire.
I've stayed at has had a campfire.
That's pretty cool. I do enjoy that. It's
I love
nice.
it.
And obviously, they offer the movies under the stars, where they show a movie out by the pool, and stereotypical arcades, playgrounds, and they have a jogging trail as well. So if you want to get some cardio in while you're there, go for a jog on a nice, hot, humid Florida morning.
Ugh.
Cool.
Yeah.
Like, if you're going to be on your feet all day, you don't want to go for a jog.
Well,
And
some
you
people
borderline
might.
do like 20,000 steps a day as it is. Like, do you really need to do more exercise on top of that? So, yeah.
For me, it's a no. But okay, moving on to number 2.
See, my number 2 would have been movies, I think, just generally again for the
Okay.
theming. So
Like I said, there's going to be quite a bit of overlap on these, since there is only 5, and we're counting down 3. So apologies for that, but obviously we're going to run over it the best we can. But yeah, so All-Star Movie is your number 2, Anna.
yeah.
Again, going Frozen style with Anna. Again, I think we've pretty much covered quite a lot of that one already. For me, my number 2 would be Pop's Entry.
Same again.
My number 2 would have been Art of Animation.
Okay, interesting. Let's just cover these individually.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, okay, starting off with Pop's Entry. As we already mentioned, it is on the Skyliner route.
Yeah.
So you've got the benefits of the Skyliner to get you about. And obviously they do offer bus services to the parks as well. It's not just the Skyliner. As far as I'm aware, they haven't taken that away now.
I don't think with some Skyliner resorts you don't have the buses to Epcot and Hollywood Studios because you've already got transport there.
Okay, that's interesting. But what happens if...
I think they put them on if the Skyliner's down. But
I was going to say, if it rains or storms or it's windy or anything like that, then they close the Skyliner. So they hopefully should have options for you. Yeah, and with Pop as well, there is a few more room choices. They have standard, preferred, standard pool view, and preferred pool view, which is not too much different, but you just get a pool view. Which I don't know if that's a good thing or not, to be honest.
I mean,
Yeah, it depends on how noisy it would get.
Yeah. Especially with some of the bigger pools, like the Hippy Dippy.
That is so cute.
I do love the 60s block.
Yeah, that is so cute.
Yeah, that's one of the things with this. There is 3 pools as well.
Mm-hmm.
And this one, as you just mentioned, the Hippy Dippy pool, which is just fun to say, which is 1960s based.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the bowling pool, which celebrates the 1950s, and the computer pool, which celebrates 1990s.
Oh, those ones haven't got as fun names.
Indeed,
They're not as cute either.
We call floppy disk pool.
Yeah.
And under recreation on the Pop Century website, at least anyway, it does show the option for fishing. I'm not too sure whereabouts nearby that would be, but it's showing
there is like the lake between Art and Pop, so I wonder if it's there.
Well, it says the fishing is not allowed on Hourglass Lake, which I believe is the lake in between
Okay.
those. So maybe it's just there as an option, so people don't automatically go fishing in Hourglass Lake. Be like, hey, you can't do this here, but here's somewhere that you can.
What would you do with the fish once you've caught them, though? Like, it's not like the rooms have got...
Take them to the
Little hole.
campfires, smoke them.
I don't know. A lot of people fish catch and release. So
but then why would you want to go fishing
I'm not
if you're
sure.
at Disney?
That is a question, but a lot of people enjoy doing that. That's a vacation for them. I'm not a fishing person, so
I don't know, maybe if you take, this is going to be very stereotypical, but maybe if you take like your granddad with you, and he doesn't want to go to the parks, but he loves to fish, you can leave him there, collect him at the end of the day.
And I know some like Americans that are on DVC use the resorts as just like resorts to enjoy a holiday
Yeah.
at.
Yeah, that is very true. But yeah, for me, Pop Century, just for the theming, over the other ones again. Not a sporty person. The music resort doesn't entice me too much. Movies is the best out of the three, but then it goes pop for me, at least anyway.
I really like as well in pop, you get a few hints of Disney as well as the like decade theming. There'll be Disney characters from the relevant decades. Like I know Baloo's in the 60s area and like Mr. Potato Head is around by the 90s. So it's quite a nice little mix.
Yeah, I can't remember whether it was Pop Century when I was last there. That was one of the places that Max first came out to do meet and greets,
The theming
I
sounds
believe.
right.
But yeah, that's pretty much covered for Pop Century. I feel like this is going to be a difficult one for us today. Alexa, what did you say was your number 2?
I said my number 2 is Art of Animation.
Art of Animation.
I feel like for me, because they've got like the family suites and stuff, I'm just like families, noise,
Children.
Yeah.
That's the main reason why it's my number 2.
See, I do enjoy Art of Animation.
Mm-hmm.
And I like how I know the other resorts are separated, like each buildings are separated and things, but there's no, apart from like Pop Century with the years and things like that, there's no distinct separation.
Yeah.
Whereas at Art of Animation, each area block is designed on a film. Obviously, you got Lion King, you have Finding Nemo,
Cars.
Cars as well, yeah, and Little Mermaid.
It looks
So
like the Little Mermaid ones are the non family suites.
yes,
So the family suite ones are like Cars, Lion King, Nemo.
yeah, that's right. I did stay in one of the family suites a few years ago, and I believe I'm trying to think where it was now. I believe it was Lion King, and it was actually really nice. The only issue with the family suites, as we've been looking for like trips out there soon, you can sleep up to 6 people in a family suite, but a family suite is more expensive than 2 rooms, which you can sleep 8 people. Now I know you get a little kitchenette and you get a little bit of a bigger and nicer bathroom, etc. But to me, if you're going with people, like multiple people, unless you have to keep all in the same room, obviously if you've got kids and things like that, to me, I'd prefer to have 2 rooms and separate it a little bit rather than everyone crammed into one room.
Yeah, I feel like if you had 6 adults in one room, it's going to be a lot. Where if you had 4 kids and 2 adults, then you're going to be fine, aren't you? Really?
Yeah, exactly. Now I know that they do have the separate bedroom area, like for the adults, and then the other 2 beds are out in the living area. But still, it's a lot for everyone to stay in one area. So you need that little bit of separation at night time as well when you get to sleep. As we mentioned, it is also part of the Skyliner route.
Does it share its stop with Pop, or has it got its own?
It shares with Pop Century, I believe. Yeah, I believe Pop Century and Art of Animation share the stop. Just got the map up. Yes, they do. Yeah. So that's why I was asking earlier on about how busy it gets, is because not only is it like Art of Animation and Pop sharing the same stop off point. So I can imagine 2 full resorts trying to get on the Skyliner pretty much all at the same time. I would imagine can get quite hectic.
And then I think it's to get to Hollywood, you have to change at Caribbean.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's another thing as well. It's not straight through.
I think is it straight through to Epcot though? I think it is, isn't it?
It's
Yeah, from those
Yeah.
two.
is it not like I've never been on Skyliner as of yet, but I assumed that it was kind of like the monorail system where if you're on the monorail, if you want to go to Epcot, you have to change kind of thing. So I imagined it got to like Caribbean Beach and then you had to change. Or does it just go
Yeah.
slow through the bay and then you can get off if you want?
So it slows down. It never comes to a complete stop. But like the two sections right next to each other. So like,
Okay, so
you
you do
tell
have
them,
to
yeah.
exchange from one to another to get.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm excited to go on the Skyliner.
It's fun.
Yeah,
I
it
know,
is
I
good.
can
I like
imagine.
Skyliner.
I feel like it's been available for so long now, and I've still not managed to get back. But yeah,
The
on
only thing they like need in the Skyliner though is air conditioning.
Yeah, you sometimes get a bit of a breeze, which is
Yeah.
fun.
Yeah. But when it's really warm, it's like a little glass greenhouse. You're like,
ooh,
oh.
yeah, no, I can imagine that. That's not nice, especially if you've just been walking around Epcot and you're all sweaty as it is. Then you get into a glass box.
And then you have to share with other sweaty people that you don't know.
Ooh, excellent.
Yeah.
You definitely bond.
Well, if that's the word you want to call it.
Yeah. It's like a sweat lodge. You find like your spirit animal at the end.
Now we're going to stay on art of animation as we move on because for me this is my number one.
Yeah, it's my number one as well.
Okay, so we've all kind of hit the nail with this one, and obviously it's the newest one there, so I don't see why it wouldn't be. But still on the topic of art of animation, I was looking down. This is one of the few accommodations that is dog friendly as well.
Oh, cute.
So you can actually take your dogs, and it looks like because I know at a lot of other resorts you can take pets, but they have to stay in like the pet hotel. But this looks like you can actually take your dogs in the room because it says
Love that.
limit 2 dogs per room. So I'm guessing you can. It doesn't say anything about taking them elsewhere. And they have best friend pet care that can provide assistance with daycare. So I guess they'd go in and check on
That's
them
where I
and
want
stuff.
to work.
You want to work as a
Dog care at Disney.
doggy daycare.
Literally my dream. But yeah, I suppose you'd have to put them in the daycare, wouldn't you? Because you couldn't leave them in a room all day. So they'd have to go into like
I'm not entirely sure with that.
doggy daycare. That's so cute.
I'm not entirely sure because I was just thinking that any pets taken had to be taken to the daycare center that they have out there. But that just says you allow 2 dogs per room, so I'm not entirely sure. If anybody knows and can drop us a message or comment about that, well, I'd like to know. Get in touch with us about that.
I wonder if the dogs get like little Mickey waffles
I would hope so.
or like little Mickey ears. They have their own little like fun day. So they're not just like put in kennels, they have their own like Disney experience. Oh
I
God,
hope
that'd be adorable.
I hope Mickey and Minnie go to visit them as well.
Oh my God, I would pay so much money to have my dog picture with Mickey and Minnie. I'd far rather take a dog
Bubsy
for
Boo.
children. Oh my God, it would be so cute. If that doesn't exist, then I can go over and set it up. So yeah,
Do it.
that would be so adorable.
All right, looking at the menu again, it's the same menu pretty much as the rest of the Valley Resorts. Nothing much changes on there, so at least you know what you're getting yourself into, and you know exactly what you're going to be getting. So if you are picky with food, then you should be fine. If as long as you're aware of what's there and you're fine with that.
We ate lunch on our resort hopping day at Art, and the food court really impressed us. It is potentially because Coronado Springs food court is not the best, but like we all got something different. It was really nice. Like there was good stuff for like allergies. Couldn't fault it. I'd eat there again.
Nice. Would recommend. Now, of course, the resorts do have like pool bars and things like that. But I do like this one. This one catches my eye because it's called the Drop Off. And if you know Finding Nemo, you will know with that. And I believe is it true that they removed the underwater music?
I'd heard it was gone for a bit, but I don't know if it's completely gone.
Because one of the pools, I'm trying to the big was it the Big Blue pool?
Big Blue
Big
had the
Blue
underwater
pool.
speakers.
I'm just
Again,
pulling
a
it
fun
up
pool
now.
name.
Yeah.
It doesn't have any mention of underwater music.
No.
So I'm not too sure if they removed it. I don't know if it was for safety reasons, people going underwater to try and listen to the music and staying under for too long. I don't know.
Oh yeah. I've just found a news article from January 2020 that says no more underwater music at Disney's Art of
Ah,
Animation.
see, I never got to experience or listen to it, and I
Yeah.
want to, and I know it'd probably sound muffled, but I really wanted
Let's just
to
think
try
fun
it.
about it. The subheading of this article is "Just keep swimming."
Just keep swimming with your head out of the water. And again, as you said, they offer the campfire activities there as well. 7 days a week is really, really cool. I feel next time I'm there, I'm going to have to pop into at least one or two of these campfires and make some s'mores. I think we've covered everyone's choices so far. Have you guys got any points that I've missed that you'd like to say about any of these resorts, or you all?
I find the history of Art of Animation quite interesting.
What
Carry
is the
on.
history?
It was meant to be the other half of Pop Century, because Pop Century only covers the latter half of the decade. So it was meant to be the Golden Years resort, and it would cover like the 20s, 30s, 40s. And they did start building it. So if you ever stay in I think it's the Little Mermaid rooms, you're technically staying in rooms that were built for the Golden Years resort, but they stopped construction when 9/11 happened, and because the hit that tourism took in the country, they just couldn't continue it. And by the time they came back to it, they weren't in love with the ideas they had for the resort anymore and built something new. So the bridge across Hourglass Lake was meant to be called like the Generational Gap Bridge.
That is interesting. I like that.
Mm-hmm.
I like that. I never really knew that. Thank you for the information. But I did always think, will they ever change like the years at Pop Century as time goes on? Is it always going to be 60s, 70s, 80s, or are they going to knock off? What's the earliest one? Is it 60s?
There's a 50s, I believe.
Like, are they going to knock the 50s off and add a 2000s?
This and that was the thing with like Golden Years, is I thought, oh well, the theming feels like a bit too grown up for Disney. And then I saw someone mention how fun it would have been to have like Oswald around in like some of the like 30s and 40s. So maybe they'd have found a way to keep it fun and Disney lighthearted.
They could have done the rooms in like black and white as well, couldn't they? That'd be quite cute. So you kind of felt like you were back in time. But yeah, I kind of almost feel like it would have been like more relevant though to do like 2000s onwards.
Well, especially now that time's going on a little bit. And when was Pop Century built? Do we know?
Apparently it opened December 14th, 2003.
2003. And they already had the 90s in there. So the 90s had... Did they already have the 90s in there, or was that added?
I feel like
these are the questions.
On opening day? Yeah, the 90s were there on opening day.
Okay, so they've only just left the 90s and they already had it there. So technically they could bring us up to like 20 teens. I'm not entirely what they would put for the most recent years though. I feel like
The 2010s would just be hipster glasses and moustaches.
Yeah.
But that is an interesting question to ask, and we're going to ask you, the audience out there, if you were to add years up until pretty much today's date to Pop Century, what would you like to see added in the 2000s or the 2010s? Pretty much up until recent date. I'd like to hear what you'll have to say about that. So drop us a message on Instagram or give us a comment or get in touch with us at contact@earstotheparks.com. Well, thank you for joining along today on this adventure. It's been fun. But yeah, I hope you guys have enjoyed it. And again, if you have, make sure to give us a follow on Instagram and TikTok at Ears to the Parks. And if you did like to get in touch with us, you can contact us at contact@earstotheparks.com, or you can get in touch with me directly at gary@earstotheparks.com. And also be sure to rate us on your chosen service that you're listening to this podcast on. Did I say that right? I don't know what I'm saying. Okay, never mind. But be sure to rate us. Be sure to rate us. Let us know what you think, and share us with a friend if you know that anyone that'd like to listen in as well. But yeah, thank you guys for joining in, and we hope to see you on the next one from your Fast Pass to the Magic here at Ears to the Parks.